Well, the Book of Boba Fett dropped to number 2 episode, that is, and it wasn't very good. I mean, because the previous one fizzled, in my opinion, but it started off sort of strong and interesting, but there's a problem there. And I as I was watching it, I saw what I thought was the setup, and it is, but they don't execute it very well. Is that, why is Boba Fett being a nice guy Boba Fett and nice guy Mafia Don? All this stuff. But, all the indications of what we saw in the original films, which wasn't much, but you saw that he was pretty ruthless, pretty nasty. And then, comic books and whatnot, detailing his years of being the type of guy he was, and then this is just not him. It was fine when you had Din Djarin depicted that way in Mandalorian, because it's a totally different character, and that's his attitude. But here, so I figured, well, the second episode will get into this, and the way the first episode was setting up that he appeared to be developing this relationship with this young Tusken boy, I guess. It's hard to tell. But the kid is looking up to him. He saves the kid's life from the monster and all that stuff, and that was all pretty good. It was actually a pretty good scene of him dealing with the some people said Ray Harryhausen type, and obviously a nod to that. But anyway, so as they're going to go through the same template of there's a child to protect, a child to protect, a child to protect. But which would be pretty lazy in and of itself, but at least it would have some credibility and some explanation as to why he is the way he is in the current timeline or what have you of this series, and how he was when you meet him in Mandalorian and all that. Well, they didn't do it very well. So of course, they jump back and forth in time. So in the present, he's still having to lock down his rule over Jabba's empire, and it turns out Jabba had some cousins, so they show up, and they have a standoff, but it doesn't really go anywhere, and all that. And so, okay. After that, he gets tired again and has to go sleep in the bacta tank. So off he goes to Dreamyland, where he reminisces about his times with the Tusken Raiders. So right, he's there. He's learning their ways. So he's doing his dances with Bantha moment, and literally they dance quite a bit. I mean, it's supposed to be this training for how to fight with a stick, but oh my goodness, they just really get into that. And so he's going native, but meanwhile there's this train. Yes, another train. Boy, Disney Star Wars loves to show battles on trains. They did it in Solo. They did it in Mandalorian with the trucks rather than a train, but still the same idea. And here we go yet again. We've got one that burns through the Tusken Raiders' territory in the desert and just starts shooting a bunch of them to make sure they don't shoot them, which is what Tusken Raiders do. So Boba decides, well, I'm going to fix this. So they allow him to go off, and he takes a rifle with him, and he goes off and he takes on some Hell's Angels. And they demonstrate that they're really nasty guys. They torture a man or what have you, and then the door opens up, and it's this old man in white jammies. And they're all like, "Ooh, who's this?" So he beats the crap out of them, and kills a couple and all that, and then steals all their motorcycles, their motorcycle speeders, whatever, and brings it back to he goes back to the tribe. Now here's the problem: he would not have done that. This would have been his opportunity. He just leaves, and he's like, I fooled them. They think I'm going to do something for them. And he gets into town, steals the motorcycles, whatever, gets some keys to a spaceship, and he's out of there. That's what he would do. You got to come up for a reason why he doesn't. Now, the deal with the boy, I would have thought would have been the more obvious thing. So the kid, sneaks away and follows him. He looks up to him. He feels indebted to him because he saved his life and all that. And he likes the guy. So he follows him in there. He sees him, wipe out the Hell's Angels. And Boba's getting ready to take off, and the little kid's there. He's like, oh, goddamn, dumb kid. And then there you go. It's still cutesy and whatnot, but it works. And that leads him back to where the kid gets in trouble or he gets hurt or what have you, and it draws him back to the tribe. And he brings the speeders, and they do the same thing. They say, okay, we're going to take the train down. So they do. And one thing leads to another, and it's a certain a matter of events that you come up with of why he stays with these people. I don't know. He gets it on with one of the Tuscan ladies. Yeah. Who's to say what they look like under all that crap, So after they do that, that's how it should have been. That would have cleared the way for his motives and his grand epiphany. But he doesn't have one. So he takes down this train. He warns off the guys on the train, sends them back, and tells them, you better learn that this is sand people. This is you probably wouldn't use the term. This is Tuscan territory, and all that sort of stuff. And you got to pay tribute to him and what have you, and all that. He wouldn't have done any of that unless you'd given some reason for his motivation to have that attitude about them. So after all that, they decide, well, he's one of us, so they make him one of the tribe. He drops acid. A lizard goes up his nose, does something to his brain. I guess if he had started having this attitude after that happened, then you could say, oh, well, they had some means by which he's brainwashed. So he has this vision, about the planet used to have water and all this, and he has to go to a tree. He comes wandering back the next day all hungover, but he's holding a giant branch, and that's how they find their personal stick. And so they teach him how to carve it right and make it in the right shape, and that's the one you see him with when you encounter him on Mandalorian. So, and they dress him up in a Tuscan suit. He doesn't get the mask, though. I would have thought, oh, there, he gets a mask again. But, so there you are. That's the garments he got at that time. And so he doesn't leave the tribe until he runs into Din Djarin in The Mandalorian. So, but I suspect something terrible happens to the tribe, or certainly to the child. But I don't know. I guess at this point it doesn't matter. The kid is briefly in the show. Doesn't seem to have that much significance. No one does. The Tuscan lady, she teaches him, and she does she's better than he is when they take down the train. Never been on a speeder before, but she whips in and out of there, unless she'll take off the mask and reveal she's someone else. I don't know. Yeah, that kind of crap is in there too. So that's it. There's no real come to Jesus moment, and he can't even talk about his vision quest after dropping acid with a lizard up his nose, because even that doesn't work, because it happens after he does this big deal for them, comes back to them with the speeders, and then takes down the train and robs it and all that, for them, not like he had some ulterior motive and plan. No, he generally cares about this tribe. Why does he? We don't know. There's no reason. It's not explained. It's not who he was. It's like I said, the boy could have been a motivation for him. It's very similar, and maybe somewhere in the middle of they say, oh, we can't do that. We already did that with, Mandalorian and Bad Batch, whatever else, and then so then they had nothing, So he's just nice guy Boba. That's all, being in the guts of the Sarlacc pit did something to him, I guess that's all you got, that's it. So I can understand why there's reports of the ratings just aren't that great, and people are still very upset over the nastiness of how they treated Gina Carano and all that. And so this show is not going to do it. This is not going to bring them back. This is not going to. It's really bad. It's really a watered down, pale version of Mandalorian, which Mandalorian was rather simplistic in a lot of ways, So, but what was the big victory for Mandalorian? Well, of course, the second season ended with Luke Skywalker showing up. So the rumor is, this has been out for a while, that Han Solo will show up, and that they've shot some scenes with Harrison Ford, and they'll do the de-aging and all that. But now Doomcock's saying he's hearing that even Luke Skywalker will show up and Princess Leia, so that they would obviously have a stand-in, probably Carrie's daughter, and CGI the face and all that sort of stuff. And and Baby Yoda would be there and all this sort of thing. Han Solo, I can understand having some interaction with Boba, but I don't know what's the overall storyline they're doing. That the three of them would show up, whatever. Perhaps he does reunite with the Tusken kid, and turns out he's Force sensitive, and Luke is seeking him out to be a Jedi. Yeah, maybe that's what. But it would just be look who's here, and that's it. You gotta do more, and I don't know why they dropped the ball on this. For Boba Fett, it's the Boba Fett show. I mean, I don't care who the special guest star is. You really dropped the ball here, because there's no fixing that now, and he just doesn't have any explanation for his motivation. Doesn't have any, and that's lazy. It's bad. So, and plus a lot of it was just, like I said, the train heist was the big spectacular deal in it, but they keep doing that, The rest of it, the confrontation in Tatooine or Mos Eisley, what have you, just wasn't that. It kind of looked cheap. I don't know, So, not a whole lot there. It's just, this is another one of these things. It's like we're thinking about the Hawkeye show, where they should have made it about his years as Ronin and all that, and that would have been a cool show. Would have been pretty dark and violent, so maybe that's not something Disney would do. But then, thinking about how the Boba Fett show isn't all that violent, but then the Mandalorian opened up where the Mandalorian chopped a guy's head off using the door. So you don't have to show it in graphic detail, but it happened, But for Boba Fett, might have been better if they had just gone back into the past of what he was doing in those years leading up to Empire, and have Darth Vader be your special guest star, where Darth Vader hires him from time to time, and that's how he knows him. Because there's a scene, and he says, "No disintegrations," and I'm looking at you, Boba. So it insinuates, something else happened, I didn't mean for you to kill them all. Oh, well, you should have said something. Something along those lines. And I think there was comic books where they had it where, Darth Vader would hire Boba Fett for a job or two here and there. That kind of thing could have been a cool idea for it, but it would be a very dark, and you would have this criminal, running around. And really, the supporting characters, it would be your chances for anybody good or what have you. And you could have a scene where, oh, there's a slight heart of gold somewhere in there where he looks the other way while some woman or kid or what have you gets away, and he doesn't do anything about it. But, still gets his money or what have you. That kind of thing. I think would have been a better series. Here, it looks like they're out of ideas and flailing a bit. So, but not coming up with a motivation and explanation, that should have been the primary objective there, to set up the show. And he didn't do it. Can't go back now. So, he just decided, you know what? I've always wanted to be a Tusken Raider. And now's my chance. Yeah, okay. I guess that's what it is. So, yeah, even if the rumors pan out, and I think that'll give them a boost, and probably people, get excited and tune in and all that. Another rumor is apparently Mara Jade might be introduced in this, stuff like that. But it's just, oh, look, bright, shiny things, and then that's it. Yeah, you got to have story and plot and character development, and it's got to have a credibility within its narrative, and right now you don't have any of it. So the old gang shows up at the tail end. Well, that's not enough. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.